Keys, what's up, man? Turn your mic and camera on. Let's see, maybe I gotta do it. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. What's up with you, man?
Well, man.
Man,
Good to see you.
I say you hard to catch up with, man. You hard to catch up with.
Man, I be moving, man. I be moving.
I know how it is, man. But I'm gonna do your introduction real quick, man. So today we got here Mr. J Keys, man, many hats, man, got a CDL, man is a nurse, and I was looking up some statistics before I came on, man. Males are only 6% of the nursing population, but African American male nurses are 0.6 of the nursing population.
0.6. Yeah.
0.6. So yeah, man, you definitely a unicorn, man. So yeah, man. So before I was texting you earlier, I had thought of some new questions. So since we about the CDLs, what's the most? Because I was gonna ask you before we even got on. What's the most miles you think you done drove in a week?
Man, it was about 700 a day. So 7 times 7, 144.
700
Um,
a day?
yeah. I was
Man,
grinding, man.
I know. What you were driving, flatbed or what?
Yeah, flatbed. That was my favorite, that flatbed, man.
Yeah, I heard it's
The,
because of the it don't take you long to get loaded and unloaded. Do it got anything to do with that?
and that and just being out in the element, you know what I'm saying? Just, working.
Yeah. I got
It
you.
it feel it feel good when you getting that load strapped down. You did that, and then you riding.
Yeah. I feel it ain't like you just went in the van where you pulling up to the dock, they load you up and you going on about your business.
Right. That's boring right there.
Yeah. I feel you on that. What you think the craziest thing you done seen on the road?
Man, the craziest thing I have seen, a wreck up in the mountains, man. Dude come out. The went down the mountain, brakes went out.
Oh man.
Dude shot up that ramp, man.
Yeah, talking about the where the runaway truck. I don't know what they call it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I seen it.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And what you think about the trucking recession? Like they saying how the rates is low and the fuel is. I know you probably. I don't know if you how close you stay to the market, but they saying like the rates is low and the fuel is high and stuff. What you think about that?
Well, I think, man, long as truck drivers don't stick together, that's one of the main reasons I got it, because wasn't nobody sticking together. Then the e-log come into play. When that came into play, it took the fun out of it. Now you just can't leave early. You want a time all day, man. That took the fun out of it.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. So it really wasn't no, because kind of like in nursing, like with the rates, like the travel rates and stuff started to trickle back down because people was started taking the low rates, and that's what kind of same thing seemed
Mm-hmm.
to start paying. So so you say you from some seminary. So what's so so tell everybody where you from first and foremost.
Seminary, Mississippi, man. It's a small little town. Everybody know everybody. Um, it's hard to make it out, man.
Yeah,
But you got a few who do.
yeah. What you think the
The great thing about it, though, man. Hmm.
what you think the population is?
About 2,000.
That's it.
Yeah, it's not many at all, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry. What you were saying though?
I mean, the good thing about it, man. I think one of the best things, you can get a good education out of it if you take
Yeah,
advantage,
yeah.
because you actually got some good teachers who care. Now, if you don't care, you know they ain't got nothing for you,
Right.
but if you one of the ones who care, man, you can get a good education up out of that small little city.
Yeah. So what you think what was it that what makes seminary different? Like what was it that drew people to, like, say for example where I'm from, it's a railroad run through there. So I think people came there because of the trading and manufacturing and wanting to move stuff is right by the railroad. So what was it about Seminary that made people come move there?
Well, one of the things is a railroad. You know what I'm saying? I what's crazy is I probably live um where I'm from, man. I probably live like about 20 yards from a railroad, man.
For
And
real?
yeah, yeah, it was a big. It's like you said, it's a big trade. But at the
Yeah.
same time, we got this Okatoma River, man, and that's a big tourist attraction where people go
Re-
kayak all the time.
Really,
Yeah.
really.
hmm
Is it like a state park, or is it just like the local people know about it and they just go kayak?
I mean, local people, and it's a major thing because it's also like if you know how to swim, it's a safe river too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's good exercise, man. You get out in the sun. I love it, man. I try to do it every year.
You used to go ride the banshee down there on the river?
Yeah, man. Oh, got them trails in them backwoods, man.
Yeah,
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 I got
yeah.
that Can-Am now, though, boy. I be
What you
cutting
got?
up.
Which one you got?
I got that Can-Am 1000. What is it? An Outlander? Yeah, the
Outlander.
Can-Am 1000 Outlander.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's a bad boy. It hurt you too.
Oh yeah, I know it came with the snorkels and everything already on it too, probably.
Yeah, I'm scared of that thing more than I am the Banshee, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, so I know, cause where you working at now? Ain't you somewhere out of state, right?
Yeah, I'm up in Indiana right now, man. My heart is with traveling, man. I
Yeah,
just every time I travel, bro, I do good. People embrace me, so
yeah.
that's what my aim is. That's what
But
I do.
speaking of that, what you think people like not from Mississippi think about people or just Mississippi in general or the South period?
What do I think the South is like?
What like people what do you think people not from Mississippi, what you think they think about Mississippi or the people from Mississippi?
Man, I think I think people still got this preconceived notion that from slavery and things like that, lack of education. People think we're not educated. People think we don't get along, in which we do for the most part. I mean, you got a few bad apples in all races, you know what I'm saying? But I think for the most part, we all try to get along, man, and live.
Yeah, yeah. So what have you ever whether it be school or a job or just out in the world, have you ever experienced like discrimination or somebody, like for example, like when I worked at Wendy's, I had a lady come through the drive-through and I gave her a change back and she dropped it between the seat. So she get home, she calls my manager.
hmm
I kept the money. She said I stole her money. So I literally had to go in my pocket in the middle of back behind the counter with like between the where the burgers and the fry station. So anyway, man, I'm back there. I had to empty out my pockets, and the lady ended up calling back later on, and they said, apologize. They said, she found it between the seats. So have you ever experienced anything like that?
Nah, man, I never really experienced any type of discrimination or racism, none of that. People I always been in a position where people gave me a chance. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And just being black, that's all I want. You know what I'm saying? And I never been in a situation where I didn't have a chance to make the best of it. What's
yeah,
crazy is, bro, I used to get in a lot of trouble,
yeah,
and I always was given a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because we
yeah.
already stereotyped as it
Right,
is.
right.
So I was feeding into that stereotype for the longest, but especially in high school, they always gave me a chance to come back and do better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After being kicked out of school for selling dope,
For real?
I Yeah, I was kicked out in 8th grade for
Oh,
selling
you had
dope.
it on
No lie.
campus?
Yeah, I had it on campus, man. Them little dime sacks, them $5 sacks. I ain't lying. Boy, I had a pocket full of them. And they
So what?
kicked me out, man. They kicked me out for like a year straight, man, a calendar year, man. And
Yeah,
yeah, man, I knew I wouldn't. I didn't like the isolation of alternative school because
yeah,
this is the two things that kept me out of trouble, but
yeah,
sports and girls.
yeah,
And I knew I couldn't, if I continued down this path, I wasn't gonna have neither. So, bro,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I that turned my life around right there.
So that was your motivation to go to school, was the girls and sports, basically.
That was my motivation to do right in school. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? To try to do the best I could possibly do, man. My father, bro, I remember I was damn near kicked out of alternative school. And my father, he come sat me down, man. He always showed up when I got in trouble. And this
yeah,
this why I'm so successful to this day, because he gave me discipline.
yeah.
And I remember it being in the office in alternative school, and I almost getting kicked out of there. And I was telling my dad, man, I need some more whoopings, bro. And I was about 13, 14, and he was like, "Ma, there's nothing more that I can do for you." And I knew right then and there it's time to start doing for myself as far as discipline myself.
So you
And
told your
that's
dad,
where the
oh,
ball,
whoop.
huh?
You
What you say?
told your daddy you needed some more whoopings.
Yeah, I told him that. I told him that. And
Yeah,
I think I'm like 15.
yeah.
So I don't outgrew whoopings, you know what I'm saying? And he telling me like it's not, I can't whoop you no more. And that's probably the last time I got a whooping, man, was probably 13 years old, man. And ever since then I just started disciplining myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's important. That self discipline. A lot of people don't got that. A lot of people don't have that drive to push themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, I used to get a lot of whoopings, boy.
So what about like the population, as far like what percent you think is black and whites, like where you from? Because like usually it reflects in the teachers and stuff. So what percent do you think is black? Blacks in seminary.
It's probably a 20, it's probably a 20% black, man.
For real?
Um yeah, when I graduated, we had one black girl graduated my class.
Just
Just
one?
one.
One?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And what about nursing? Your nursing class, how many did y'all start with, and how many did y'all finish with?
Man, right now, we probably started with 90, man. We probably got 30 left.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, William Carey ain't playing, bro. They'll get rid of you quick.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, that just go to show you how competitive, and not I mean it's competitive as it is to get in, but it's hard to stay in too. Like I remember, I went to USM, and I'm a senior in high school still. Went to USM, and is going to go to their nursing program, and I'm sitting in the lady office. She had this big filing cabinet, and she opened up the filing cabinet. It had a bunch of like folders in it, and she said every one of these folders is an application, and it's probably like at least 150 folders. And so she told me, she said, out of these,
Mm-hmm.
only 60 people is gonna make it, is gonna get accepted. And so one of my hurdles, my biggest hurdles with USM was I only had a 21 on the ACT. And she told me that was the minimum that you needed to get in, was a 21. And so she said it was two things that I took from that conversation. Number one, she told me, she said, I got people in this filing cabinet that got 27s and 28s on the ACT. You got a 21. And this, my mama, it's me and my mama. She shoot me straight now. It's a white lady. She said, you got
Mm-hmm.
21. It's 20 people in this filing cabinet got 27s and 28s that we gonna take them first. And she said the other thing is, she said 90% of these people in this filing cabinet, they took their prereqs at a junior college because it's cheaper. And she didn't have to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? She could have said, hey man, go for it, gave me, sold me a dream and all that stuff. That lady shot me straight, man. She said, look, basically what I took from it, go to a junior college, take your prereqs, take your ACT again, try to get 25, 26, 27, then come back. That ain't what she said, but that's what she said. You know what I'm saying? So just giving you your pat on the back, man. It's very, to even be in that number, to even be in that 90, people don't realize how hard, how competitive it is to get in.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, man. It's been one of the hardest challenges of my life, man, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And what class y'all what class y'all in now?
We in mental health right now. We got mental health. We got community, um, and leadership.
Leadership. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you so how far you got what, August? You finished in August, September?
Yeah, I got 7 months left, man. 7 months.
Yeah. So what's your plan? Like, let's say if you woke up tomorrow and you had them pass the NCLEX, and because I mean, you already a nurse. You just, for the people that's watching that don't know, you already a nurse. You just bridging over. So if you woke up tomorrow and you had passed your NCLEX, what you think your next move going? What you doing? Like what area you want to go in?
I
You
would
want
be moving
ER, what?
ER.
Doing ER?
Yeah, flight nurse, man. I like the adrenaline of it, man.
Yeah, I heard they work like 48, like 2 days on, 3 days out. Like, what's the rotation like with that?
I ain't looked into it yet. Once I know you got to have ER experience. Once you get that, then you probably I think it's like 2 years experience, and then you get the opportunity to become a flight nurse. But
Yeah,
I definitely plan on going into the ER for sure.
yeah. I could. I knew a guy that I did. Me and Landry start together. I think we did. We worked in Macomb together, and I want to say Landry worked in. We was working med surg because when I finished, it's good that you already know now that you want to go in your specialty. Because when I went into it, I didn't know what step down was. I didn't know what I mean. I didn't know it was like a hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Hmm.
um, I was just glad to have a job, to be honest. But I knew a dude that he ended up doing the flight nurse thing. But I want to say, man, they do, like, how like the firefighters, they work like 20, they work a whole day. They work, like, they go in at 7 in the morning, they get out the next day at 7 in the morning, then they off for 2 days straight. So I think they do something like that. I mean, it ain't like you in a cage, you know what I'm saying? You get to do,
Right.
lunch break, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's good. So you don't plan on doing like the travel nursing with the ER stuff. You just want to do the flight nurse.
Yeah, I plan on traveling eventually, man. That's where my heart at, man. I like being in new cities and states, man.
Yeah, would say a lot because what you have in the truck, what you have in the CDL, it kind of all tie in together, really.
That what made me want to. Oh, that what made me want to. I was driving a truck one day, man, and I'm like, all right, I can go to these cities, but I can't stay in them.
Yeah,
I can't be in this city for no longer than 3 days. You know what I'm saying?
right,
72-hour reset.
right.
And I say, man, I got to go back to the drawing board. And I was like, if I'm gonna go back to school for anything, what would it be? And I don't know. Around that time, man, that's when I seen you, and I'm
Yeah.
like, he looked just like me. You know what I'm saying? So let me let me try and figure out. I hit you up and chopped it up with you. I'm like, man, I might as well go for it, and
How
I
long
don't regret,
was that?
huh?
How long was that ago?
Man, I started driving trucks in 25. When I was 25, I went back to school at 27. So
Yeah,
that was 2027, man.
20, two, oh,
Not
twenty
two, I'm sorry, 2000 and what, 17?
seventeen, 17. Yeah,
Yeah, 2017. Yep.
yeah. Now, what was your favorite place to drive? What was your favorite place to drive to in the truck? Your favorite city?
Man, I never really got to hung out, but the most beautiful, I seen New York one time, man, because I had a load that I had to drop in New Jersey,
Yeah,
and it was right there near, New York and New Jersey, right there neck and neck.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I saw the skyline, and I'm like, man, that's beautiful. I want to see that, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But I couldn't be in on the truck because you got to get up out that city and go to your next load.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that would nursing come in that, you
Yeah, well,
know,
you get to go and you get to stay there and be there and like be in the city
e-
and not like in and
yeah,
out.
experience it.
Yeah.
Yo,
I had a dude that told me, he said his favorite place to drive was Las Vegas, because he said it's like you in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and then you just see all these lights. Like he said, it's literally like in the middle of the desert. Like you ever been to Vegas? You ever had to drive to Vegas or through Vegas?
I drove through. I drove through Vegas. Not on a truck, but when I come back from Oregon, I had an Oregon assignment. Man, I come down through Vegas, man,
Yeah,
and that's a beautiful city, man. I can't wait to go out there and hang out
yeah.
man.
You drove all the way. How far is it from Oregon to Mississippi?
I forget how long it is, but it took me about 3 days to get up though.
To get up, you drove up there and back,
I, yeah, I drove up there and back.
or you like driving? Don't you?
Hey, I had a little Nissan Central, man.
Oh, you went up
Uh,
there to Central.
Central
Where you
15.
was
I
sleeping
like in the car.
at?
I gotta try it, man. I
Yeah,
ain't never been away from home, you know what I'm saying? So I got the opportunity to go somewhere, I always had a dream of snowboarding. So I'm like, it's winter time. I know they got mountains up there. So man,
yeah. Is
I
that
took off.
was that your first travel assignment?
Nah, that was my second travel assignment.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I know, it's been because you've been a nurse since what 2018, 2019. So
It
you
was 20. It was 20. I've been a nurse 4 years now.
2020. So you got to see that COVID wave, and then a year or so after that, and now everything kind of slowing back down. But I mean, it definitely in the right place at the right time, man. Because the pay is getting competitive. Because this our generation, the new generation, like the generation before us of nurses, they would go somewhere and work for 40 years, 30 years, 40 years. That's just what they did. But with us, we'll go somewhere, get our experience, and then we gone. So they having the hospitals, they don't like the turnover. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep people. So to do that, they got to go up on on the pace. So I mean, either way, you winning really. Either way, whether if you go staff or if you traveling. So either way, you in the right place.
My thing is, man, you got to know your worth. You know, and we're rare. You know what I'm saying? And I know this. So, and then I bring great work to the field. So I'm not settling for just anything,
Yeah,
especially if you want me to stick around.
yeah, that's facts, man. Look, I would say one of my biggest like barriers, or one of my biggest hurdles when I first got into nursing was I was in Macomb, and by it not being a lot of us, it's like I kind of felt like the unit I went to, everybody was helpful. I met some people I still talk to this day. That was like 8 years ago, 8 9 years ago. But I just didn't feel like embraced like that. I guess you could say, like, had I would have walked in there and I seen you, and they like, oh, he gonna be training you for 3 months. I'd be rubbing my hand like Birdman.
Hmm.
But it's like we kind of have to, like, we grew up the same. We can't we kind of have to dial ourselves back just a little bit. We can't go in there like, you know what I mean? So
What you mean by dial back?
like like we like how, say for example, and me and you we was at the barbecue, right? We sitting there and we doing what people do at the barbecue, playing cards, and they shooting dice over there. Like when we get in that, it's like I think they call it code switching or something. Like when we get in there, we had to carry ourselves a certain way.
That's the word I was looking for. Code switch.
Yeah, yeah. So what you think about that?
man, I'm glad we talked about it, man. I was one of my old friends from back in the day.
Yeah.
I finally, I had him call me. I sent him my number a couple weeks ago. He finally called me today. This dude told me stop talking white.
What?
Yeah, man. Hey, and I'm at a point in my life where stuff like that don't offend me no more. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm like, if that's what you think, I'm getting this money. I
Yeah.
don't care nothing about that. But that's we so lost to a point where we don't even know what education sound like or communication sound like. You know what I'm saying? If
Right.
Darius, I don't care if I got to we first off, we nurses, we gotta communicate to get this money that
Right.
we trying to get. But at the same time, man, if I got a code switch and to do what needs to be done to get this job done, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. It just called it's called maturity. That's all that is. It's maturity. Like I used to think like that. I remember when I was in like in the 7th, 8th grade. And you know how when you play sport, you got to dress up on game day, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, my favorite rapper was Webby. And Webby, one song Webby had, he said he ain't never wore no tie. He said, I ain't gonna never wear a tie. So basketball season come up, and guess what? I gotta dress up. You know what I did? I put on a regular t-shirt and I clip on a tie in the front
Mm-hmm.
of it. My coach see me in the changing class. He said, man, you look stupid. Take that off. So I was that. So just imagine some people, I'm 12 at the time, but some people just never grow out of that way of thinking.
Yeah, man. Any type of real businessman gonna code switch. You know what
Look
I'm
at
saying?
me. Look at 50 Cent and Curtis Jackson is two different people.
I'm reading that book right. I'm reading 50 book right now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I'm reading it right now, man. You got to be able to code switch when you're getting a certain amount of money, man.
Look, Pete book, he said he used to go to them Hollywood meetings with the braids and the gold teeth. He said people were scared of him. He didn't really go into detail what he meant. So he said him being observant, he cut the braids off, took the gold teeth out, and he started making more money. People started wanting boom, he on Nickelodeon. Romeo got a
Mhm.
show on Nickelodeon. You think P gonna be on there with some braids and some gold teeth?
Right.
You
I
know what I'm
feel you,
saying?
man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's real, man. It ain't everybody do it. I mean, Ice Cube and what's Ice Cube real name? Anyway, you get what I'm saying. This is like I remember when I first got up to the age to where I was watching rappers interviews, 50 Cent specifically. And I'm looking at 50 Cent in the interview and like, this ain't the same dude from BET.
Right.
You know, he on BET, he got the do-rag on, he got the muscle shirt on, he up there doing the diddy bop. You know what I'm saying? He get in the
Yeah.
interview, he got on the suit. He Curtis Jackson. But on BET, he 50 Cent, you know, so that blew my mind, man. I was like, this dude really smart.
Yeah, man. I think that's the most smartest thing you can do is be able to code switch. And to be quite honest, we are people who can do it better than anybody because we can go to the craziest hoods and kick it. You know what I'm saying? But we also been in this environment where we can go be professional too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a gift.
Everybody, and I'm glad you said that because everybody can't do that. Because you know that one. I'm sure you know. I know one. That one dude that think he can go to the hood and hang out and fit in, but you know he can't. He gon'
Right.
it just 10 people go fishing, and then this one person sitting up there ain't fishing. Like, man, what you sitting up there ain't fishing for? Oh man, I'm just, it's like it make you like weird. Like you don't come fishing with 10 people. So you to be able to go through them different environments like that, man, it really, like you said, it really is a gift. Everybody can't do that.
Everybody can't do it, but I feel like, man, if you embrace it and start learning over time, and man, it ain't got nothing to do with being trying to be white or none of that. It's all about education and putting yourself in the right positions, man.
Yeah,
You can't go into even a $20,000 meeting or a $50,000 meeting or $100,000 meeting or $1,000,000 meeting with your pants sagging. You
Yeah.
can't do that, man.
Nah, man. Man, when I first started dealing with the banks and stuff, man, I knew that's one thing that I did learn early. Like, I know I can't go in there with the basketball jersey on with the gold necklace. Like, I can, but I can't. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, I ain't got nothing to prove to. I done prove myself out there already. These the
Right,
people I gotta, cause they the gatekeepers in my life at this point. They're gonna be the one that say
right.
no to this loan. They're gonna be the one to say yes or no to this, whatever I'm trying to do. I ain't got nothing to prove to them out there. I done proved I ain't got nothing to prove out there. I can't come in here with the I literally was sitting in the parking lot taking my earrings out. You know what I'm saying? Going there like I got some sense. And I give you another one. I went to my first nursing interview, and this it leads me to my next question for you. I went to my first nursing interview. I had on like a button down, long sleeve, and like some regular jeans or something like that. Or maybe some khakis. I can't really remember. And I had just went to my interview in Macomb at the hospital. So I went to the interview in Macomb, and I got my shirt tucked in, all this, I got my Clarks on, you know what I'm saying? I get to the dialysis clinic, which I'm gonna be interviewed by a sister. You know what I'm saying? I already know
Mm.
I'm the store manager at Walmart. My cousin wife them already put in the word for me. So it's really like a shoe in, basically. All you gotta do is go in there and say you want the job, basically. So I get to the parking lot. Guess what I do? I untuck
What's
my
that?
shirt, and then I sat in the car and I thought about it, and I felt bad. I said, why don't I give this sister the same courtesy as I just gave them folks down there at the hospital? You
I
know,
would agree.
yeah. Why I don't give this sister that could be my sister or my auntie? Why I don't show her the same respect as I just showed them folks down there at the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
So I keep it. When you keep it in 100, you got to be. I keep it 100 across the board. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to, because your appearance is everything, man. Your appearance is how folks gonna approach you, how they gonna
Yeah.
treat you. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, think about it. You think about the way you carry yourself and your appearances. That's like your thumbnail for your video. If you want people to click on the video, maybe you need a nice thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it got it do. But so with far as like with our community and like how people don't really like. I'm sure you heard too. A lot of people say, "Man, I don't like buying cars from black people." I don't, what do you think that lack of trust come from in our community?
Man, I think it starts with from bad dealings getting swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And we as people have a bad habit of, you know, that let's get over it. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no. Let's sit down and get to the table and talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say this. For instance, say if one of your uncles stole from another uncle.
Yeah.
Our people expect for, or a cousin stole from another cousin, or a sister stole from a sister or brother. We as people expect, all right, at the time we supposed to move on from that, right? But this situation ain't being talked about. So you got trust issues, and then I'm gonna use this scenario too. Say say somebody, a uncle molest a child or anything like that. You done lost trust. The child don't trust nobody no more. And also the uncle who did the molestation don't trust nobody, because now he gotta watch his back.
Yeah.
But
Right.
all these issues could have been resolved. These trust issues could have been resolved if it would have been sat down and talked about it from the jump.
Right.
So you get within a community, and all these issues arise. You know what I'm saying? They build up over
Yeah.
time. You got you a damn mountain of trust issues that ain't never been talked about. So
Right.
now everybody grimy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Everybody got trust issues with one another. And I think that's the biggest problem with within our community is that we don't talk about our problems enough. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say one more thing about this. I learned in my when I took my prerequisites in the community college
Yeah.
at Pearl River and Hattiesburg.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the I was chosen for this leadership class, and one of the biggest things I got out of that leadership class was conflict is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I learned that I used to think conflict was knuckling up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that was my mental for a long time until I took this class, and I learned that conflict in the right setting is a great thing. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Cause you sit down and you iron these issues out amongst the community, amongst the family, amongst the friendship. You
Yeah.
know, and that's where I believe the trust issues come from.
Yeah. I was trying to hold one of my thoughts when you said something about when you think of conflict, you think of fighting. Well, it reminded me of a quote that say, "To a man with a hammer, everything look like a nail." So if that's your only conflict resolution is fighting, then you step on my shoe, fight. You hit my car, fight. You steal my
Mhm.
shirt, fight. You know what I'm saying? So as you get older and mature, you start learning these different ways to resolve conflict. But in our community, confrontation is like taboo. Like if you confront somebody, that means you want to fight. It's almost like making eye contact. Like if your mama talking to you or your
Mhm.
dad talking to you, you in trouble. You know not to. If you look at them, you want to. Yeah, that's just how we is in our community.
Right. But I don't think it should be that way because you got you and it's sad that it is that way because this younger generation ain't going no more.
Mm,
They don't care if your auntie, uncle, this younger generation gonna stand up for themselves, and then you have issues within the community or within the family. You
yeah,
gotta allow people are human. Even my child gonna have the
of
ability
course.
to express herself,
Right,
and now we sit down like humans and talk this out
right,
versus me being I'm your father. You can't not, it's none of that. Let's talk about it.
right. Yeah,
Because when she gets 20, 30, 40, and she gone on about her life, I still want my child to be able to call me every day
to
and
have a
check up on me. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Or I
right,
check up on her.
right. Yeah, and I think too, one of the important things is if you if you talk to your child like that, like I remember was this chick I was talking to a while back, and she would talk crazy to her son, like I'm talking about crazy, like so I told her, I said, not in front of him though. I said, I don't think that's cool because what is gonna happen when he go get a job one day and his manager talk to him like that? He gonna know that that's not appropriate. You could talk to
Right.
him, but you got to make sure he know when he go out there and get a job one day, he don't let nobody else talk to him because that's not how two grown people talk to each other. That's not how peers talk to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And speaking on that, man, you can't as a mother, you can't talk down on your sons and no, especially a black son, because his self-esteem is tested every day he walk out the house. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that's trauma. You know what I'm saying, man? We got to change the way we talk to these children. I
yeah,
I can't call no child whether it don't even got to be my child. I ain't talking to no child in no bad way because these kids are innocent. They
yeah.
trying to learn along the way. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. It's a respect thing, man. Too, and it's a two-way street. And I believe a child is just like a person. Period. It's like a flower. It needs sunshine and it needs water to grow. You can't give it
Mhm.
too much sunshine. You can't give it too much water. Like you got the kids that never really had to work for nothing. And then they grow up and be lost. And then you got the kids that had to. You can't. It got to be a balance. You know what I'm saying? You can't give them
Right.
it's all that. It kind of got to be a good middle, or like a middle of the road type of situation.
I would agree, man. That what 50 was talking about within his book, man. A lot of them can't handle pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because they never been through nothing, man.
Yeah,
I
right,
remember I remember my dad, man. I was getting ready. I was in high school, man. He brought me about 3 pair of Reeboks. I knew that was gonna be it for me. You know what I'm saying? He took good care of me, but I knew it was time for me to get out and get it on my own. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And
Yeah,
I don't, you face trials and tribulations along the way, but man, you gotta have that grind in order to
yeah.
make it.
Man, I remember going to do y'all got a scrap yard down there? Or where y'all take the cans and
Yeah, yeah, we do.
man, I probably had to be like 10th grade. You know, my mom was a waitress, you know what I'm saying? And when she was trying to go back to school, a lot of my family, had stepped up and helped us buy, school supplies and, t-shirt, drawers, stuff like that. And it was 4 of us. So um anyway, man, I had got one of my well, ain't my uncle, it was my great auntie husband. So I just called him uncle. But man, we hauled scrap iron all day, man. And we got at the end of the day, I'm thinking he gonna ask for some gas money or something. He ain't asked for nothing. I think I made like 160 that day. And that's how I bought my school shoes that year. But I'm telling you, man, I worked all day.
Yeah,
I worked
yeah.
all day. So yeah, you definitely gotta have that grind. And I learned early, man. You can't wait on somebody to do something for you. You gotta go,
Mhm.
you gotta go get it. But speaking of that, like what you feel like was your biggest obstacle at this, getting to this point of your, because it's people that are cut off a finger to be where you at, man.
It's crazy that you say that because I feel like, man, I still got so much to handle, bro. I'm trying to catch up with you.
You go feel like that because like it's always every time it's like the carrot in front of the donkey. It's
Mhm.
always another carrot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I appreciate that though. But my biggest obstacle, man, is man, I was recently when I first started this program that I'm in now. I had failed 2 classes.
Mm-hmm.
I failed patho and I failed adult health. I went in playing from the jump. I passed like 2 semesters just off doing nothing.
Really?
But then I got to these hard classes and I'm still thinking it's a game.
Yeah.
And man, boy, I got knocked down. I end up losing like 5,000 to some classes. I lost 6 months. I was supposed to be graduating next month in February, but I
Mm-hmm.
failed these classes. But I got what happened was, man, I got back into my comfort zone. I
Yeah.
got too comfortable. I done had a child and I traveling around the world, you know what I'm saying? So I was living, eating good, you know what I'm saying? So I'm back in this class. I'm like, man, I can be in Oregon right now,
Yeah.
or on an island somewhere. But I'm like, man, I had to wrap my head back around it. So it took failing in order to align me to get back right. And now, man, I'm back trucking, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you on that. I feel you on
Yeah.
that. But my last one would be uh what you feel like, which I kind of feel like it's gonna be since you told me the story about the pocket full of dime bags. I kind of figured what it gonna be. But what you feel like was your biggest pivot, your biggest turning point in life where you look back and say, you know what, I'm glad I planted my foot right there and went the other way.
Um, that was one of the situations,
Or it
man.
could have been a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Could have been anything.
Man, I done been through some stuff, man, but I won't even get. I don't like speaking on those personal issues, but
Yeah. Yeah, you good.
I like from a dude who really I'm really like that. You know what I'm saying? I prefer not to be,
Yeah.
but I think the biggest thing was to me is, man, the kept me from getting in trouble. You know, I just I don't want to end up in the penitentiary, and I started educating myself. I started reading. I think the one of the man Think and Grow Rich, bro.
Yeah.
When I read that book, I saw Nip Hussle and David Banner talk about it for years,
Mm-hmm.
and I finally picked it up. When I read that book, it changed my perspective on how I think. It talks about being in certain environments, how you stay in a certain environment long enough, that's gonna be part of who you is. And I read that book, then I turned around, I asked you about some more books, and
Mm-hmm.
you gave me all the game I needed. So I started reading basically Napoleon Hill and Robert Greene. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's The Laws of Human Nature, man. That's a great book,
Yeah.
man. 48 Laws of Power, man.
Did you
And,
did you read Richest Man in Babylon?
yeah, I read that one too. That taught me how to invest money in the right ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Buy assets for retirement. You
Yeah.
know, but I think that's the biggest, you know, that's what changed me, man, was, not wanting to be in penitentiary and wanting to be a stand-up black man, bro.
Yeah.
Cause we
Yeah.
got enough suckers out here. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we
And
got enough.
I felt that when you said, I really like that. Cause we come from an era where like the we admired the rappers that was about what they was talking about. Like
Mhm.
now you can say whatever and it don't really matter. But
Whatever it is. Mhm.
20 years ago, if you was talking about toting pistols and pistol whooping people, and we knew you really wasn't doing it, you wasn't getting no play. But now you could
Mhm.
be so for you to say that. But the reason I said that was because you could tell a lot the way nothing about your body language or nothing said you was faking it. Like when you said I'm really like that, I
Mhm.
1000% believed it. And it's always the people that don't really try to do too much. You know what I'm saying? So for you to
Right.
make, do that 180 and say, you know what, I'd rather be doing this than that, which it was easy to do. It's hard to do what you're doing now. It's easy to be, you know, it's easy to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I admire, man, is your ambition, your grind to say, you know what, I did the CDL thing ain't really
Mhm.
working out. Let me do the nursing thing and just moving on through life, man. So I really admire it.
I appreciate it, man. I still get in trouble now, you know what I'm saying? But I don't I don't keep going, you know what I'm saying? Keep poking that bear, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
pray, I pray, you know what I'm saying? Like you give it, God, you get me through this, you ain't gotta worry about it no more. You know what I'm saying? Because trouble is out there. I think with us though, man, it's easy to act gangster. That's the
Mm,
easy part. But man, keep that. I saw something on Instagram the other day. It said stay dangerous.
yeah.
Stay, that don't mean you got to go out looking for trouble, but
Yeah.
stay dangerous because you never know when you might have to have that arsenal and
Yeah.
to use. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what changed. That's when I changed my mindset. I ain't got to be no gangster. I ain't got to
It could
walk.
get good though.
It can get gangster though. I rather it not. I don't want them problems. But I rather go home to my little girl every night and my
Yeah.
family and read with my daughter. But
Yeah.
at the same time, man, it can get real if it need be, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, hey, oh, never, man. That's the part I was waiting for right there. I was waiting. I was like, please say it, please say it, please say it. But
yeah,
I heard Kevin Gates say that. He said, I ain't no gangster, but it could get gangsters. I was
yeah,
waiting
man.
on you to say it. But on that
I
one, unless you got anything you want to say, man, I'm gonna wrap it up, man, and hopefully I can try to get this thing uploaded tonight, and within the next hour or so, and then I can send it to you. If not tonight, then definitely tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I will say this, man. I appreciate the opportunity, and as as a black man, bro, man, the medical field education is a beautiful thing, man. Being a nurse, because being cool, being nice to people is a good thing. You
Mm-hmm.
don't got to be tough all the time, man. Like go home to your children and teach your child how to read. That's
Yeah.
the cool part of life. Now things done shift, and you have opportunity out here. People are giving you have an opportunity. People want to
Yeah.
see you do good. So I end it with that, man. Do
Yeah.
good in life, man.
Yeah. 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 Appreciate that, man. Now look, I'm gonna chop it up some too. Chop it up different, topics and stuff. And And once I get everything, uploaded and stuff, I send it to you. And look, we can 7-8 months from now, once you get that past that board, we can do another one, man. It's up to you. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'll chop it up with you, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, appreciate you, bro.
No problem.
All right. Say.